Yo, yo, yo. You. Yes, you. Right there. Come here. Come here. Hey. How are you doing today? You look nice. Is that a new style with your hair? I really like it. Really suits you. What? Me? No, I'm not just trying to butter you up because of what we're going to be talking about today. No, I genuinely mean it from the bottom of my heart. No other reason. What it do, boo-boo, and welcome back to my crib. I hope I buttered you up enough because I'm about to lose my mark of mastery quicker than I release videos. Oh, well, would you look at that? We've got some time. Anyways, I'm here to discuss a point of view on the traitor of Union Cross that I am undoubtedly in the minority of, if any, looking from this perspective. Specifically about our boy in black, Luxu, and how he is in fact not the traitor of Union Cross.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
That's right, my son is just misunderstood, and I am here to defend his case. Hey, even the guilty get a lawyer, and with that, court is now in session. Whoa! Not that kind of trial. If you know, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, what exactly makes Luxu the traitor? Come on, I'm waiting. Not much of a talker, huh? I'll go first. Kingdom Hearts 2.8 released on January 12th, 2017, and I was like, yeah, baby, happy birthday to me. Thank you, Nomura, for thinking of me. The last in the line of Kingdom Hearts re-released, remasters, recompleted packages with each containing 3 games each. Kingdom Hearts 1.5, Kingdom Hearts 2.5, and of course, Kingdom Hearts 3.5... 2.6? No. 9? No, wait. Is it upside down? I can't tell. 8! Kingdom Hearts 2.8. So glad there will be no more of that moving into the next saga. You could bring the classic text back though, very much appreciated, thank you. Within this collection specifically, we're looking at Kingdom Hearts 3D Remastered, Kingdom Hearts Key Back Cover, and finally Kingdom Hearts 0.2. What did I just say? You know what? Never mind. With these 3 packages, you were as prepared as you could be for the release of Kingdom Hearts 3. During the promotion of 2.8, they would show off your typical jump cuts of parts of the games within the package. However, the only game within this bundle that wasn't new was 3D. 0.2 and back cover were completely brand spanking new story, and with back cover specifically, more details on the foretellers. Because of course, up until this point, they were just as mysterious as the Master of Masters, who hasn't even been introduced until this very release. Regardless, there was one term that kept coming up during the back cover segment of the trailers. Traitor.
Trust no one but myself.
We don't even know who the traitor is yet!
Didn't you think for a second that your actions could be making things worse than they already are?
What? Did you expect the traitor to give themselves up with that accusation of yours?
Why did it have to come to this?
Finally, after all this time, we're finally gonna get some insight as to who the traitor is. Our prayers have been answered. 4 years later, when the finale of Union Cross finally aired and the Master says Luxu the traitor. Well, there you have it. Clear-cut case. Printed and ship it, boys. On to the next one, yeah? Nah, wait. Hold on just 1 minute here. At what point was Luxu a traitor? Because the Master said so? Wow, you are just as blindly loyal to the Master as all the foretellers are. Because he didn't help during the Keyblade War? At which point did Luxu actually act upon and become a traitor? There is none. I gave you a chance to speak. Alright, can I continue? If you look back at all the events that happened during Union Cross where Luxu was involved or lack thereof, none of them include him doing a straight up traitorous act to turn against the foretellers. Luxu was introduced in Kingdom Hearts Key Back Cover alongside the Master of Masters as his right hand man. He's essentially the Aqua to Ericus in terms of being their direct subordinate that is on the same level of the other foretellers, but not really. Before he dimmed, faded, and vanished without a trace, the Master would bestow roles to each of the foretellers as a final request request for them to carry out. Luxu was given the role of inheriting the no-name Keyblade. Embedded with the Master's eye, he was to observe all the events that would transpire from a distance and carry on both the no-name as well as the black box into the future, passing down the Keyblade to another and another, all while he body hops alongside who he bequeaths it to maintain an eye on it until that fateful day would arrive, as spoken about in the Kingdom Hearts 3 Secret Reports. Specifically, Secret Reports 11 through 13. I have seen it through. The Keyblade War unfolded exactly as written on the lost page. Now, the Keyblade the Master entrusted to me must be bequeathed to another. Amid the chaos, I bequeathed my Keyblade to one of the Union leaders, just as the Master instructed. I watched as the 5 were sent to another world line, at no small cost, ensuring the line of Keyblade wielders will live on. And now, Keybladeless, I must depart this land to fulfill my final task. This means casting my own body aside and sojourning my heart in vessel after vessel, as many as it takes. Somewhere in this cyclical history of bequeathings, a chosen one will appear and reenact the Keyblade War. When this scapegoat arrives and takes my Keyblade in hand, that will be the time to take the stage and finish my role. The Gazing Eye, a Keyblade forged from the eye of the Master of Masters. He passed it to me, as I have to others, and through it he can see the future, all that will ever come to pass. Spanning the ages and body after body, life after life, my task has been to keep vigil over the eye as it passes from hand to hand. It has been a long time, longer than I can express. The lost masters will awaken. Now, all of these reports are marked unknown, but come on now. If we play the cutscenes of back covers side by side with these reports, it's the same task being told by the person completing it, aka Luxu. So, if he was told not to interfere, how is he the traitor? Well, that's just it. He's not. Looking at the chain of events, it is clear that Luxu is only a traitor by name, and that he was set up to look as such for a specific reason, by none other, of course, than the Master of Masters. During the Union Cross finale, we see a scene between the Master and Luxu where he unveils his grand scheme to defeat darkness once and for all. The plan being to raise the foretellers to have strong hearts and then implanting them with the darknesses, giving the darkness a form, and thus giving us the ability to destroy them, because without a form they are undefeatable, and no matter how many times you defeat them, they will always come back. But pay attention to this part specifically. I use this passage in the book about the traitor to plant doubt inside all of you for the darkness to feed on, for them to take the bait. We all need to harbor true, real emotions. The Master just flat out said that I made it up, the whole thing. There is no traitor. There never was. By merely mentioning a potential traitor in the Book of Prophecies, something that the foretellers understand to foretell the events of the future, they would immediately take it as fact and begin doubting one another, harboring the true negative emotions that the darkness feeds on, allowing them to take over their hearts and be killed off whenever and wherever that may be. Knowing that this is his plan, he would go on to give Luxu the role to take the no-name in the black box and observe all the events that are to unfold. Look, but don't touch. Because of this, when shit starts to hit the fan and all the foretellers are scrambling to quell the potential war, Luxu is seen not lifting a single finger to help, but rather just sitting by and watching. Ava would come across Luxu and we would see here she asks him what he has been doing this entire time. He doesn't even hide his role from her either. He straight up tells her that I've been watching. She questions him and he repeats it at least 3 times that the Master had told him to just watch. Even though he's done quite literally nothing, Ava takes that as him being the potential traitor. Because why would Luxu, the Master's right-hand man and potentially a stronger wielder than all the foretellers, just watch the chaos happen unless it's going exactly as he wants it to? These thoughts are what flood Ava's mind as the doubts begin to grow. Luxu then reveals the truth about the traitor, and it is at this moment that Ava draws her Keyblade. The truth again being that there is no traitor. In this instance, Luxu was calling the passage in the Book of Prophecies about the traitor, and in turn the Master of Masters, wrong, explaining Ava's reaction in drawing her Keyblade to attack Luxu, the traitor who dares to go against the Master's teachings. We see that the foretellers have such an unwavering devotion to the Master without question that even when Sed brought up the idea of changing course, he was assumed to be the traitor, again because he as well was saying that the Master was wrong.
We need to defy the Master's teachings to protect the world.
You're saying he was wrong?
Correct! He's not here anymore. I won't let his prophecy come true. I won't let the world fall into darkness.
I found out who the traitor is. Regrettably.
Luxu then clashes with Ava, painting him even more as the traitor when all he is doing is defending himself. Ava had attacked first, leading to the Keyblade War, just as the Master had planned when he schemed to plant these seeds of doubt. This is further backed up by all the events that would transpire afterwards in Union Cross with the Union leaders. Again, more specifics on this here. I swear I need to do just one massive long video going through all of this at once, but regardless, the Union leaders have no such ties to the Master. Therefore, when things begin to go wrong, they don't stick to the plan, they begin to question, they begin to investigate, they begin to trust. Case in point, together the Union leaders would overcome being destroyed by the Darknesses, messing up the Master's plans of having the 5 Darknesses take over the Union leaders as he has stated during this same cutscene. If the foretellers had just for a second thought, maybe the Master is wrong, maybe he's not always right. Even when Luxu himself tells them that, the Keyblade War very well may have been prevented, just like the Union leaders avoided their so-called fate.
Do you remember what you asked me before? About why the unions compete against each other instead of working together? Actually, I always wondered the same thing.
Huh? Isn't it just because the Master said so?
Yes. And as such, we must obey. The Master said so. So it is.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
You once told me that you were looking for answers. That you wanted to solve the mysteries of this world. Well, I think that's how things should be. We need to question things and think for ourselves.
Even all the way into the future, if Mickey came up to Sora in the gang and was like, oh, by the way, there's a traitor among us, I guarantee not a single one of them would turn on each other, let alone even begin doubting one another simply because he said so. Of course, because of the bonds that they all share with each other. We don't know how the foretellers came to be, but we can tell by the way that they interact with each other in the present, it seems that they are strictly about business. They don't have the deep friendship and connection that Sora and the gang all shared, the one that would allow them to look past the word traitor and view the future for themselves. And when the Master goes on to say, Luxu the traitor, that is because he knows Luxu will be the red herring. And if you think about it, he may be calling Luxu not a traitor to the foretellers, but a traitor to himself, the Master of Masters. Going back to Luxu revealing the truth about how there is no traitor to Ava, because that one single thing would ruin his plans. If Ava had believed him, that is. Now, ultimately, at the end of it all, who is the traitor, right? Because of course, if he were to have been lying in this case, quite literally anything in the book could be a lie. But what if I told you that he wasn't actually lying, but at the same time he was? Alright, we're gonna get into some really complicated things here, so try to keep up. To best easily explain it, let's go through the chain of events up until now that we have been speaking of so far. The Master of Masters would go on to create the Book of Prophecies, a book that would foretell of future events and information to come. He has the capability of writing this book through the gazing eye embedded in the Keyblade he passed to Luxu. He would then give Luxu the task of inheriting the Keyblade as well as the black box and carrying it on into the future. As he says to Luxu when giving the role,
you need to pass down that Keyblade to your apprentice and then him to his, so that my eye can see the future.
So the Book of Prophecies.
Bingo! The fact that it exists is proof of your success. That means you've trained a worthy apprentice, passed down that handsome Keyblade, and fulfilled your role. Congratulations!
Luxu would then take his role along with the Keyblade and the black box and vanish into the distance, beginning to observe everything that would transpire so that the Master can thus write the Book of Prophecies.
Luxu, the first of the apprentices to be given their role, watched his companions from afar as they learned what it was that they were meant to do.
After Luxu vanishes, he will then go on to the foretellers themselves, bestowing a book of prophecies to each one of the foretellers and then giving them themselves their own individual roles. Gula here was given the role of finding the traitor using a mysterious missing page from all of the book of prophecies. It is on this page that not only foretells that there is a traitor, but from the perspective of Luxu, we see that it also foretells the Master's plans as a whole. The plan being, of course, to make up the potential of a traitor, which would explain why there isn't a single single copy of the Book of Prophecies that has this page in it, and thus giving this fake made-up story to Gula, along with giving all the foretellers these conflicting roles that would intentionally collide with each other's personalities. We even see Gula himself reference this missing page, saying,
"I'm a fool for basing my actions on what is written on that lost page. Everything in the passage is ambiguous at best."
Of course, meaning that even reading what's written on the page, none of it makes sense. This page does not connect with any of the events that have transpired or are foretold in the Book of Prophecies. Of course, again, because it was a complete fabrication by the Master of Masters. But at the same time, it wasn't a lie, because from Luxu's perspective, this page actually foretells of the specific events that are to come. Because during this scene, Luxu tells Ava, "Sorry, but I cannot help you. This world is meant to end. What's written on the lost page, the page none of you have in your books, the page on which the Master's intentions are inscribed." Ava would then begin to question Luxu, asking him if he's implying that the Master planned all of this to happen, in which Luxu responds that this world is meant to end. The Master doesn't give two shits about what comes of this world, rather he's focused on what comes after. However, for Luxu to complete his role, the events on that page must play out as it is told. Ava then questions him as to if he is the real traitor, in which we see Luxu draw his keyblade. But it is in this moment that Luxu does not become the traitor, but rather he creates one himself. And the traitor that he creates is Ava. Again, the page that is missing from all of the copies of the Book of Prophecies does not actually exist at this point in time, which explains why to Gula none of it makes any sense and doesn't connect to anything, and even further backed up by Luxu's statement of saying that in order to complete his role, he needs these events to play out. Meaning that if the events weren't to play out on their own, he would have to get a bit hands-on and find a way to make sure that these events happen himself. After drawing his keyblade, we then cut to a scene where he says that is the truth about the traitor. Ava then is completely baffled by what he said, completely ignoring the fact that it may be true and just simply saying that he is lying, meaning that the truth that he had told her has to be something that is completely unbelievable. The truth again being that there is no traitor. Hearing these words, it would be obvious as to why Ava would be so hesitant to believing them at first, because this entire time, specifically the entire duration of Kingdom Hearts Key back cover, the reason that the foretellers were even colliding with each other was simply based off of this simple fact that there may be a possible traitor. After revealing the truth to her, Luxu even asks if this is something that she could stop herself. Again, Ava, completely baffled in the fact that the man that took them under their wing would do this to them, begins to blame Luxu as if he is making it all up, that he's just making up these excuses and laying all the blame on the Master so that he could carry out his own plans. When again, as I said earlier in the video, every single one of the foretellers, Luxu included, are just doing what the Master told them to do. Going back to the Master giving everyone these conflicting roles that intentionally collided with each other. Ava would then clash with Luxu, beginning the Keyblade War and inevitably beginning the destruction of Daybreak Town, thus making Ava the traitor. We even see during this cutscene when Gula is speaking to our player character and Scold about the missing page, a line from the passage states, "Words of truth misunderstood as they explore the secret of tomorrow." Ava trying to explore and uncover the truth, seeking refuge in Luxu, who then gives her exactly what she wants and tells her the truth, but she doesn't believe him and instead interprets it as Luxu binding him to his own will. And even furthermore, Gula states to our player character in Scold that the traitor is the catalyst for the events that lead to the world's end. And what exactly leads to the world's end? Well, again, as Gula mentions, was stated in a passage on the lost page from the Book of Prophecies, "With a single strike, toll the bells and herald the end, bringing war upon us as fate did intend." And who exactly was the one that struck first? Exactly, none other than Ava. We then see at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 in the epilogue when all the foretellers reappear, Luxu states,
"I guess Ava didn't make it after all."
Meaning what?
I told her clear as day what it is I had to do.
And is that why you decided to exclude her?
As if. Ava had her own mission, and she carried it out.
again showing that Ava has completely broken away from the Master's control, going against both the foretellers, who will be the new organized antagonist as explained in one of Nomura's interviews, as well as the Master of Masters himself, hoping that the light of the Keyblade that she had passed down would somehow eventually in the future come to fruition, and those chosen will rise to stand with her against the destruction of all the worlds, whether it be darkness causing it, or in this future case, whether it be light. And as we see in the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary artwork, Ava is the only character portrayed as facing away. Ava is portrayed as the traitor, thus making this page that was completely fabricated at the time become an actual reality. And the Master, as always, would continue to be 5 steps ahead of everybody. Is Ava still alive? Is she in the world of Quadratum? Or has she entrusted her task of bequeathing the Keyblade and protecting the world into our young heroes of today's age? We don't know, but for now we'll have to lie in wait and view the future for ourselves.
Well, I could lie and tell you that's what I am when I'm actually a brilliant artist, or even a scholar. I could tell you that I dream of world peace when I'm actually planning for its destruction. The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.